Hey Dom, this is Dave Decide. Today I want to get into some more military updates and a date that is being thrown around in December. I also want to talk about some Korean opinions on the situation, as their opinions are definitely more valid than what I can give. I also wanted to get into Bang PD's recent gesture to show support to the other groups. So hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Spelling work merge. Let's get into it. The first thing we need to address is some of the things going on with BTS currently. So the majority of the members are on their break. I believe they're just enjoying their time off. The members are individually putting out their vlogs, and then after the vlog, we may see a member come back or debut with their solo mixtape. Seems they don't currently have a schedule as to who is going to come out and in what order. RM did talk about his mixtape being almost done, so he may actually go first. And it seems like whoever is done first or ready to go will go next. But as for now, we have J-Hope to be very excited about. I read somewhere that J-Hope actually grossed the highest ticket sales for Lollapalooza among any artist at the show. So he did that. Jimin was reported the other day to be flying over to Lollapalooza, and many theories and speculations came out as to why. So we now know that Jimin is indeed at the venue, and he was reunited with J-Hope, and they were spending time together backstage. And we even get to see them stand there and watch TXT's performance. And Jimin was cheering them all on. This was definitely a big deal. Lollapalooza is a big deal type of festival, and it's a great way for J-Hope to be introduced to a new audience that may find his new sound very interesting and fun. I think HYBE went about marketing J-Hope a little differently, just because they know that his music is definitely more fitted for a festival audience and more niche specific type of listener. And J-Hope will find that audience for anyone that is at Lollapalooza, just to enjoy the music and doesn't care who the artist is. I hope Jimin and J-Hope will get to meet the various artists that are at the venue. I know Tinashe is actually there, and J-Hope had hinted previously being a big fan of hers, so I do wonder if they got to meet finally and maybe even work on a song together. Becky G was also apparently there, so people think that Chicken Noodle Soup will be performed at the event as well. If I was at the venue, I'd go ahead and make sure I went out and bought some chicken noodle soup to have during the song. But joking aside, this is going to be iconic, the whole show. I will be reacting to some of the performances on my Patreon once it's out, so if you want to join me over there and fangirl, I will link my Patreon below. Armies had lined up, and there were lines across the block waiting specifically for J-Hope. People had been waiting since the morning, even though J-Hope is scheduled to appear at night. Armies were of course there to listen and enjoy the music throughout the day, and also look around to see what other celebrities or familiar faces might be in the audience. They were able to actually locate Bang PD, former CEO of HYBE. You would normally think he would be too busy to go and enjoy a festival like a normal person, but I would assume one of the reasons he did want to step down is to be able to enjoy things like this and enjoy moments where he just shows support to the artists he manages. CEOs don't often have time to do things like this, and will hire someone to attend shows to be able to critique the artist, but it would be best for a CEO to do that, as they know what is the most marketable. And Bang is an artist himself, so he can definitely give the best critiques. People were saying that Bang PD was spotted in the crowd during the TXT performance, and he was happily cheering along. I imagine he would stay the whole night to also see J-Hope perform as well, and it's such a beautiful gesture for someone that high up in the company, or was that high up, to actually care about their artist. In many ways, HYBE still runs and operates as a small company and as a family company. They are legally considered a big company though. People were of course emotional. This is so beautiful, and people in the industry who have been doing this line of work for many years and have scaled to a billion-dollar company are often tired or don't really care about the music or art. But here Bang PD is standing here and enjoying it and appreciating it as much as an audience member would. It is definitely also important to show support to the junior members of a group, as you definitely want them to get as big as possible, and maybe even before they have to enlist in the military. It will be a bit longer for TXT, but BTS is right around the corner. We were supposed to get an announcement of a military exemption at the end of June. It is far past that. I believe the government deemed the issue as a non-urgent one. I get it. There's definitely more urgent issues than the government having a conversation about K-pop. South Korea is technically still at war with North Korea, and I don't think that will end. It is a Cold War now, I believe, and of course we're also globally dealing with COVID. There's still many things going on. And Newsite actually did an interview with Korean citizens to ask them about their thoughts on the military exemption of BTS and what they think. There's a few people who believe BTS should go ahead and enlist, and others have said what I've said for ages, which is that this is the height of their career, and boy bands typically have a shorter career, as boy bands can't stay boys for the rest of their life. They become men eventually, and it does get harder to dance and sing like that as you get older. Some of the Korean citizens were concerned that if BTS enlists, that will just be the end of their career. And I want to make this less doom and gloom. I do agree with this statement, but I also think that there's this misconception that fame or success is either yes or no. You are either at BTS's current level or you're a failure. And there is a huge in between, and on that spectrum, you can still make millions, if not billions of dollars. If BTS does leave for many years and loses their momentum, they can still come back and have a career. They just may or may not still be breaking records like how they are now. And this is just historically what happens. BTS can also very much break that mold and prove that entirely wrong. And even if BTS has half the amount of success or even a third of what they have now, they can still go on and achieve great things and make a ton of money. I also think this applies to how we as normal people view success. We think you need to be right off the bat hitting a #1 single and a billion views on your first video, and then you're successful. And if you don't do it right away, you are a failure and you should quit and never do it again. I think we all will mess up and not achieve success right away. That doesn't mean we shouldn't try again and just accept failure. For example, I get things wrong all the time on this channel. There's context that I miss sometimes, and sometimes it's simply just misunderstood because these videos are 8 minutes or so, and the concept in which I am trying to get across is sometimes difficult to explain. Always without fail, a bunch of comments that say, "You got it wrong, please never talk about it again." No one should have this mentality. If I get it wrong, I can own up to that, but I'm not going to give up. BTS is all about not giving up. They preach this message as well, and so do I. So if I get 1 or 2 or 50 things wrong sometimes, because I'm stupid, obviously I will, that doesn't mean I should never attempt it again. I would be extremely hypocritical if I did that. It goes against everything this channel has always been about. I also think that when BTS goes and enlists, and if they come back and realize that their numbers have dropped, I don't think that they will give up. I think that they will try harder and eventually reach back to their old success. Going back to the news site, they also interviewed military personnel. They asked a soldier what he thought about BTS being exempt, and he had an interesting answer. He said that soldiers defend and fight for their country while BTS promotes it, and thinks that this is enough to grant said exemption. Another person had mentioned that their opinion is BTS should go to the military because BTS is promoting for their own profit, while Olympic players are promoting the country. This is a strange thing to say and very inaccurate. Olympic players or any athlete isn't doing what they do for free. And yes, if you're an athlete playing for the Olympics, you are doing it kind of for the prestige. Those people don't get paid, but the athletes get paid in another way. They are usually sponsored, and if the player wins, sometimes it is believed it is a cash prize associated with the medal. So it's not free, basically. Are they making as much as BTS? Probably not, but the intention of the athlete is still fame and money. So it's the same. I would count BTS as the same as an Olympic player, but I have no say in that. So this is just a hush-de-hush opinion between you and I. Now, all this fuss and commotion, what is the actual date and schedule for the BTS enlistment? We don't have a full schedule released by HYBE, but there is speculation around this. There was a list going around showing when all the members could likely go based on their age, and it shows that the members all return as 7 by 2029. And this is interesting because they did formally announce the BTS comeback in 2030 for the Busan Expo. So maybe just the theory, if BTS returns in 2029, they will be working on their album as 7 members and have a comeback in 2030. So when will Jin go, or when is it believed he will go? Again, this is just a prediction and theory. Jin will turn 30 by December 4th, and with the extension of the BTS law, he will have to enlist by the time he turns 30, and that needs to be before December ends. So it is believed by netizens and news sites he will enlist anywhere from December 5th to December 31st. I have no opinion or anything on it. I have no idea. But what do you think? Do you think he will be enlisting by that time? What do you think of the various Korean opinions on BTS's enlistment? And of course, how do you feel on J-Hope's show and Bang PD's show and support? Let me know what you think, and make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thanks, this lovely comment right here. Love you, bye.